guys, welcome back. This is Balance of Sport. So today we're going to discuss about Arsenal's second leg, which is against Villarreal. And let's start this.
Okay, so Aviram, what did you think of our performance in the Europa League semi-final? I personally thought that it was very, very bad. Like
Yeah,
starting from the
see,
lineup, the performance in the match, the substitutions, everything was really, really bad.
I agree with every point. See, I don't get why Arteta had to experiment in probably our most important game of our season. And the whole lineup was a shock. I mean, I think he might have watched Pep do the same thing again against PSG, and I think he might have followed that. I'm just guessing, but I don't understand why he had to do the false nine experiment in our biggest game of our season. What do you think?
Yeah, it was like starting from the lineup. Like obviously we have so many injuries, right? We don't have a left back, so Xhaka has to fill in. Then like we didn't have a fit striker. Like we didn't know if Aubameyang was going to start or not. Lacazette is definitely out. Um,
Yeah,
but then there's Nketiah, or there's Martinelli who can fill into the role. Uh,
yeah,
and we usually play with like a number 10 and a striker, right? So the striker can hold
yeah,
onto the ball, distribute it to the wings, and Pepe and Saka could run onto those balls. But
yeah.
today it was Emil Smith Rowe who played in that role, and I thought that he could not do what Lacazette or Aubameyang could do.
Yeah, see, Lacazette is probably for me when it comes to our attack, he's our most important player because he links all the attackers. He mixes the number 10, he brings the wide players into the game, and then he also ends up in the box scoring. So him not being there was a huge miss for Arteta. So he had to think something else differently. I mean, apart from the usual formation. But still, I don't agree with the number, the false nine formation which he went through. He could have gone with probably Nketiah because he went with him in the previous game ever against Everton, or he could have tried Martinelli as well. But a whole new formation in the semi-final of a European competition, that is something I'm still having doubts whether he's tactically adept. I mean, if he can take us to big games in the future as well, but this this raised few concerns for me because this was the performance as well. It was not up to the mark. I
Mm.
mean, the team wasn't able to gel together.
That's very, very true. I think like upfront our team is like decent, but one thing which is really, really concerning to me is we don't get any shots on target. It's very simple. We don't get shots on target, we cannot score goals. Throughout the match, we
Absolutely.
just had two shots on target. One was the penalty, which
Yeah,
itself was like really, really dodgy. We have to admit it.
I think.
And
Yeah, I
second,
don't think it was a penalty. Yeah,
yeah,
we
that's
were
true.
lucky. Let's be honest. Yeah,
Yeah, and secondly was the Oba shot. So just two shots on target in 90 minutes. That's really horrible. And that has been a theme in like our Premier League games, our Europa League games, our Cup games. This season it has been really bad. We don't
yeah.
get shots
So
on targets. I don't know. So like okay, so I was looking at a stat recently about how many goals from midfield have we scored. Uh, so this season, I think in the Premier League we have only scored two goals from midfield.
yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know what to say about this. Like, remember when we had Ramsey, Cazorla, Wilshere?
We actually
Ozil?
controlled our games through midfield. I mean, we were gifted with so many technical players in the midfield, and now
Yeah,
it's quite the opposite. It's total opposite. I mean, you don't have a one proper single midfield player who you think actually starts for Arsenal. I mean, apart from Thomas Partey, I don't think every midfielder,
yeah.
any midfielder, is actually deserves. He actually deserves a place. I don't think there's apart from Partey, there's no player there.
So I'll just I have an opinion over here. I think Xhaka and Partey is a top four midfield, but
Yeah,
I know it's
that's
very
your opinion.
controversial.
That's fine. Yeah,
Yeah, but I believe like we really really lack Xhaka in midfield. Like when Xhaka and Partey are playing together, they really elevate each other's games. And today Ceballos was really really bad. Like it's always a coin toss with him, right? He can either play like really
yeah,
great,
that's true.
dribble through everyone, but then like today he was like so slow. Their left back was like their right back was like
He, yeah,
winning
they're
all
right
foot
back.
races against Ceballos.
Johan Foyth, yeah, he's
Yeah, yeah,
Tottenham. He's on loan from Tottenham. But I mean, him being a central defender, he was running through Ceballos. I mean, Ceballos was lost. He was nowhere to be found because he absolutely bullied him. This guy, Johan Foyth. Also, see from European, what I would say, Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka, that could be a temporary solution for now, but I don't think it's going to work long time. Xhaka had, I know he could be very good on the ball. His passing range is superb, but there is always a mistake in him. Even if there's pressure applied on him, or I don't know, but
Mm.
somehow in the course of 90 minutes, he always tend to make an error, which somehow some way or the other tends to cost us the game as well.
I think this season it has not been that apparent that Xhaka is making mistakes. When he makes like small mistakes, then it always gets magnified because of the last season mistakes or the previous one. I'm not saying that he's like error free.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has made mistakes a lot in the past, and he'll always be under scrutiny. But our front four, right? Odegaard, uh, ESR, Pepe, and Saka. What did you think of these four, like the combination?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I could see only the wide players getting a run. I mean, those two, because they were being one-on-one with the fullbacks. That's the reason I felt they had slight advantage. Or apart from those two, again, Odegaard and Emil Smith Rowe, they couldn't really get the grip of the game. They
Mm,
were trying. The Odegaard
true.
most of the time was passing backwards, and he was finding Thomas Partey or Ceballos. But there weren't
Yeah.
many forward passes into Smith Rowe and all. There was one run from Smith Rowe in the second half where he actually dribbled past two defenders, got into the box, but he couldn't find the final pass. Smith Rowe, I think he could be our number 10. See, it's like this. If Odegaard plays, I want Aubameyang to be our number 9. And if Smith
Mm.
Rowe plays, I want Lacazette to be our number 9. So,
Okay, because Smith Rowe, Saka, and Lacazette have all these
yeah, yeah,
like
they have good passing, short passing there. That's also the chemistry between
yeah,
them is good. I think.
their chemistry, right? They do these touch and goes a lot, whereas like
Yeah,
Aubameyang
what
is like
he
run behind the line, so Odegaard is like better on creativity over
can
there.
find him on the ball.
Yeah. So one thing I think was a very big problem was playing Callum Chambers. So hear me out. We have Bellerin and Cedric on the bench. These two are pretty great right backs compared to what Villarreal had on that wing. And
Yeah, also these two
Chambers,
are natural right backs.
yeah, these two are natural right backs. Chambers is good in the air. He is a better crosser than both of these. And that's it. He contributes nothing to our passing. Like if you notice when we are playing out of the back, Chambers always like kicks it out. Like he always takes that old English football approach that if the ball is here, I'm just like lumping it
He
forward.
just clear it. Yeah,
Yeah, and his positioning as a right back is not very great.
it
Like he
scares
doesn't.
me actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so Bellerin, we know that he goes into midfield. Cedric, on the other hand, we know he makes this overlapping runs with the wingers, right? So Chambers is not really great at any of these. And I believe that since we rely a lot on our wings with both Tierney and like no one on the right wing contributing, it was a big problem for us because we can't pass out of the back if we have Chambers playing.
That's true. The actual disappointment from that West Ham game was this is a controversial opinion. I'm
Mhm.
stating now. See, Chambers had a very good game. I'll be honest. In the West Ham game where we were 3-0 down and we came back, and
Yeah.
Chambers was a big part why we had actually drawn the game. So, but there was a negative as well. I, it's like my gut feeling. I knew that Arteta might start him for future as a right back because of
Oh,
that one particular game. I had a bad feeling he might start. He was good in
mm,
that one particular game, but he's not the exact answer to your right back. And also missing Tierney, I think it was a huge miss. I mean, since he's been injured, we've always been sinking. I mean, since his injury news, we've been dipping.
that's very
He's a
true.
major part of our build-up play, and he's got the heart and passion. I mean, he drives the other players. Also, as
Yeah,
everybody say, he's a future captain as well. Hopefully, he
right.
makes the captain, gets the captain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do agree with you. Like, remember in the I think it was the previous
It
quarterfinal
was
clash,
again
right, where
Benfica.
he
against Benfica he scored. Yeah,
Oh yes,
was
yes.
it
Benfica he
or
scored, and
Olympia?
he scored the second goal and got everyone pumped up. Like this is how
Got
you
it.
do it. And
Yeah. So
yeah,
see, Xhaka at left back doesn't convince me. I mean, he had one or two good games, but I don't think Xhaka could have. I mean, in the midfield, we always miss him
yeah,
whenever he doesn't walk, no matter how good or bad everybody argues. But whenever
yeah.
he's not present, we actually feel his absence. So
Hmm.
Xhaka absent in the midfield was a huge blow. Also, Tierney at left back, that was a huge blow as well.
That's
So I think Arteta could have at least tried Cedric or Saka as his left back. Could have
yeah.
gone with those
Saka
two.
would have been so interesting, right? Because he's already played there,
Already
and
played there. Yeah, he's got enough experience there.
yeah, he's got enough experience there. And Saka is left-footed. He'd have been like the perfect defender against their right winger, right? Chukwueze, who's a right-footed winger. So
Yeah,
left foot, right foot. It's very easy to
left.
defend that.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he
Also,
didn't go.
yeah. Also, Xhaka doesn't make any overlapping runs, or does he put in any
Hmm.
crosses in the box? I don't understand, but there must be some tactical reason why he prefers Xhaka over at the other left back. But I cannot see it visually. I mean, as a fan, I see Xhaka. He
Hmm.
just, I mean, he's much more. He actually can impact the game much more when he's in the midfield. I mean, he
That's
finds
very
players,
true.
all those,
Agreed.
all those long crosses, long passes, and so hopefully he starts either Cedric or Tierney or Saka on the left. I want Xhaka in the middle because
Yeah,
Thomas
hopefully
Partey.
Tierney is back. Yeah.
Yeah, Tierney was back with this game. He was available for that game as well, but he didn't want to take a risk, which is understandable.
That's very true. So there is one more problem I feel with our team right now. Our substitutions are very, very late.
Don't get me started with that. See, I don't understand why you had to wait at least until 75 minutes is done. Last night it was different because it was a European semi-final, but
Yeah.
almost most of the time he makes a substitution after 75 minutes or 5 minutes left, 10 minutes left. I don't understand what's the main reason.
But so you were watching the match, and like every analyst and every commentator who was watching the match knew that there was something wrong. What was wrong with
Yeah,
making changes during halftime? Like get
yeah. See,
Martinelli on. Ceballos is on a yellow card. Get Martinelli on, or like get Willian on for like I'd say even say get Willian on
even
because Ceballos had
Willian
such a
as well.
bad
Yeah,
game.
he could hold the ball in the opposition half. That was his one plus what Willian could do. But the
Yeah,
most surprising or the most positive towards us was Emery made a substitution in the halftime,
yeah,
which
that's right.
actually allowed us into the game. See, that's
Hmm.
always has been as a I would say what do you call a con. I mean, Emery he assesses the game much in a much defensive way. That was probably one
Hmm.
of his reasons for downfall at Arsenal because the same thing he did in last Thursday. He took off a
Hmm.
striker and he bought a defensive midfielder. I don't know. He gives a lot of respect to the other team, which although they don't deserve, he always tends to give the amount of respect to the opposition. So that actually
Hmm.
helped us in getting back because since the second half began, we were actually getting a lot more position and we were putting more balls into the opposition half.
Yeah, and I thought we became much better when we went down by one man for some reason. Like 10v11
For
was
some
so
reason, yeah.
great for us. Yeah.
Until it was 10v11. When it was 10v10, again, it was the
Then
same
again
old.
we fell back, yes. But this has
I
got
don't
to
know.
change here. Our final third is so bad right now. Like we can't cross the ball properly. We can't create shot like chances which can be shot at the goal. That's a very big
Yeah.
problem for us. Okay, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. This is Bolazo Sport.